This
What is
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, yesterday we discussed drop down list box, checkbox, radio buttons, event, screen grouping, all those things. Okay. So now, now what I'll do is, this is a requirement. So I should have two screens. One is normal screen, another is model dialog box. Already in the screen painter, we have seen normal screen and sub screen. Normal screen and sub screen we have seen, right? Now we are going to see what this particular model dialog box. So what is my requirement here? Whenever I execute the program, I should get the normal screen first. In that normal screen, first I have to enter the sales document number, and when I press enter key, whenever I press enter key in the sales document input field, I should make it as a mandatory field. Whenever I press enter key in the sales document input field, I should retrieve the sales document header data from VBAK table and item data from what VBAP table. Okay, so we know that a sales document might contain one or more items. Na? In VBAP table, you may have one or more items. In header table, you'll have only one record for each sales document. So that header data and item data, I need to display it in what model dialog box. So this sales document number, creation date, and creation time. This entire thing is what header data. Understood? This is the header data. This part is a header data. This is a header data, which I need to get it from what? VBAK table and display it. This is header data. And this is your item data. Okay, this part is your item data. Item data means you will have what? One or more records. Na? So how do you display one or more records in the form of tabular format? So in this model dialog box, I need to take what? Something called as table control, which allows us to display the data in the form of tabular format. So this is the overall requirement. We should have two screens. I should navigate from one screen to another screen. This header data and item data should be displayed in what? Model dialog box. What is this model dialog box concept is? Until and unless that model dialog box is closed, I cannot interact with other parts of the window. I cannot interact with the other parts of the window. That is the meaning of what? Model dialog box. Once a model dialog box is displayed, I cannot interact with other parts of the window. Compulsory, we need to close the model dialog box. Then only I can interact with what other parts of the window. So in the model dialog box, I should take one back button. Whenever I click on the back button, control should go back to the normal screen. Okay, so on my normal screen, I should take an input field for reading what? Sales document number. Whenever I press enter key here, some event will be triggered. Na? If it is a selection screen input field, what is the event triggered when you press enter key? Anyone? Yes, anyone? When I press enter key in the selection screen, when I press enter key in the selection screen input field, what is the event it triggered? Anyone?
It's selection screen.
No. What is the first event triggered when you press enter key in the selection screen input field? Yes, anyone?
List of contents data.
No, my question is, I'm having a selection screen. On that selection screen, I'm having an input field. How do you generate the input field? By using what? Parameters, which will generate the selection screen with what? Input field. In the runtime, if I press enter key in the input field, the sequence of events triggered is at selection screen on field, on field. This is the first event triggered. The next event triggered is what? At selection screen. After this, the next event triggered is what? At selection screen output. So they are the three events which gets triggered, what? One after the other in case of what? Selection screen, what? Input field. In case of selection screen input field, when you press enter key, these are the events triggered. Events triggered is what? So and so. Okay, if it is a module pull dialog screen, right? If it is a module pull dialog screen, so assume that we have the what? Module pull screen input field, that is dialog screen. Whenever we press enter key, the first event triggered is PAI event. The next event triggered is obviously after PAI. What is the next event triggered? Yes, PBO event. Understood? That's all. Only these two events are triggered in case of what? Module pull. Okay, so we should remember like this so that it will be easy to learn the subject. Okay, in case of selection skin, the above are the three events which gets triggered one after the other. In case of module pull, they are the two events. Right, so what is the event I have to handle in this case? PAI. Since it is a module pull screen, whenever I press enter, the event triggered is PAI. First, let us focus on normal screen design. So I'll go to Object Navigator SC80. Am I recording the session? Yeah, done. What is the last program? 8, I think. So Z830 mod 9. Program does not exist. Create the object. Let us create this program with the top include. I'll propose the name of the top include program as Z830 mod 9 top. Done. Type of program is what? Module pull. Let us save it. So first we need to design the screen. Na? So I'll right click on the program, create what? Screen. Let us propose a screen number as 100. I'll provide some description. Screen 100, some description. What is the screen type here by default? Normal. Let it be normal. I'll go to the layout. So on this layout, I need to refer to the sales document number. Na? So how do we design the database fields? Already we know. Go to secondary window, dictionary / program fields. Already we have discussed this in detail. Right? Go to secondary window, dictionary / program fields. Which table? Sales document number means it is available in VBAK table as well as VBAP table. I can take it from any of the table. I'll go for what? I'll go for what? VBAK. VBAK get from what? Dictionary. Right. I'll select the field what? Veblen. I'll select the field Veblen. Nothing but sales document number. Continue. Right. I'll place it here. Okay. What is the name it has proposed here? If I double click on this, once again, let me save it once. Yeah. If I double click on this input field, what is the name it has proposed? VBAK-Veblen. If I leave the name like this, what is the issue? Anyone? If I leave the name like this, what is the issue? Anyone? Sudha, Jyoti.
Yeah. Underscore, we have to take a V underscore VBL.
Okay, why I have to take? What is the problem if I leave it like this?
It won't accept some,
Correct, correct, correct. Tell me.
what,
Hmm?
it's dash is not accepted in case of
Hyphen, hyphen, hyphen
fields
is not
hyphen.
hyphen is not allowed in the variable names. You will get warnings and it will not capture the data, right? If you want to refer to
Yes.
this field in the program, see the explanation should be, if you want to refer to this field in the program, I need to declare a variable with the same name. Means the variable name should contain VBAK-Weblen. If I give like that, it will lead to warning, and it doesn't capture the data. It will not it will not do the mapping between the variable and this particular screen field. That is the reason we will ensure that the screen field names will not have what hyphen. Okay, so I'll remove this. Understood? I can keep it like this. There is another solution. I can, in my program, if you want to refer, I can use what? Tables keyword. Tables keyword will create a work area with all the fields. Na? So just because of this one field, unnecessarily we are creating a work area referring to the old structure, which is a performance issue. That is the reason I'll change this name to something else. Something, anything, ABC, XYZ. For my convenience, I'll change it to V_Weblet. Done. So save it. Done. Then I will provide some text kind of thing for the user. I'll double click on this. I'll give the name as text field one. Press here. I'll say enter what? Sales document number, and press what? Enter key, and press enter key. I'll make this IO field as mandatory. How do you make this dialog screen input field as mandatory? In the program tab, in the property window, in the program tab, this input I'll change it to what? Required, so that that field becomes what? Mandatory. Done. Let me take one push button for exit. Okay, I'll take B1. I'll give the function code as what? FC1. Sorry, text I'll give it as something exit. Function code I'll give it as something FC1. Then let me take one cancel button for forceful exit. I'll take one cancel button. Let me give the name as B2. Text I'll give it as cancel. Function code FC2. Function type I have to set it to what? E na? E indicates what? Exit command. Done. So my designing of normal screen is completed. Let us write the logic for those two buttons. One is exit, another is cancel button. So in the flow logic, in the PI, whenever I click on the buttons, what is the event triggered? PI. In the PI event module, I'll say case ucom, when what? FC1, what is this? Leave program, end case. I need to define at exit command module for the cancel button, right? So I'll say module name, how to define at exit command. Module name at exit command. This module gets executed only when you click on the buttons whose function type is set to what? E. Right? So here I'll say what? Case ucom. What is the function code I give? FC2. When FC2. I'll say what? Leave program. End for case is what? End case. Done. Save it. Check for the syntax. Activate. Done. It is activated. I'll activate the flow logic also. Done. Let me create the transaction code. I'll give the T code name as M9. T code for Z830 mod 9. I'll choose the radio button, program and screen, continue. Right? I'll give the program name as Z830 mod how much? 9. Screen number. Let me give the screen number as 100. I'll select these checkboxes. Activate and test your program. So when I execute, right? So this is a mandatory field, so I cannot exit. I'll do the forceful exit. Okay, or else enter some data there and exit, since it is mandatory. Right? Working fine. Okay, so when I click on the exit button, it will come out of the what? Program. It is taking some time. Why it is taking time? Go to SC80, screen layout. What is the function code again? FC1 only. And what is the logic I'm checking here? When FC1 leave program. Yeah, oh, fine, but due to some reason it is taking some time. So when I execute, I'll enter some value 1000, right? After entering the value as 1000, might be the reason is since I have not declared that corresponding variable in the program, it is getting stuck there. So I'll try to declare that. I'll say stop transaction. Let me try to re-log in. Oh, the server itself is an issue. I'll go to SC38, sorry, SC80. So in my top include program, I'll declare a variable with the same name as that of the screen field name. So here I'll say data v underscore weblen type what vbak hyphen weblen. Save, check for the syntax, activate this. Activate the flow logic also. Activate the program. Execute direct processing. I'll enter some value 1000. Yeah, now I think it will work. Yes, working fine. Okay, so since it is not mapped, that is the issue. Right, what is the next issue now? Next requirement now, when I, after entering the value, when I press enter, some event gets triggered. Na? What is that event I told? PA. So how do we handle that means? Observe here. What is the event triggered? PA. Na? So in the PA event, let me open in change mode. In the PAI event, here I'll say, or somewhere here, what is this field, or somewhere at the last also I can write. Here I'll say field. What is the field name? V underscore weblen module get data. Field name module get data. This is field specific validation. Understood? Because I'm doing the action in a particular field. How do you refer to the field in the flow? Field name, module name. So inside this module, let me just give some message kind of thing, just to understand whether the event is getting triggered or not. Okay, I'll just give the message. What is this? PA event type what I. Excuse me. PA event type I. Done. Activate this. Activate and execute. Right. right? So I'll enter some value here. I'll press enter. Yes. What is the event triggered? PA event. So control is going to that PA event and this module is getting executed. So it is confirmed that the event got executed. What is the next requirement now? Based on this entered sales document, I should get the header data and item data. Na? So from the VBAK table, from the sales document header data table, I have to get 4 fields: sales document number, creation date, creation time, and created by. And from the item table, I want the 4 fields: sales document number, item number, material number, and item price. Okay, header table means you'll have only one record per document. Item table means you may have one or more records for each document. Okay, what is the common field between VBAK and VBAP? The common field is what? VBLN, sales document number. So for header data, I require work area because you'll have only one record. Understood? For item data, you'll have what? Multiple records. No? So if you observe, if I go to ABAP dictionary, let me open a table called as VBAK, sales document data. What is the key field here? Veblen. What is this? Character of 10. Sales document number. And what is the other table I am referring? VBAP. If you go to SC11, the other table is VBAP, sales document item data. What are the key fields here? VBLN and POSNR, nothing but sales document item number. So if you see the VBAK table, we have how many contents, how many records? We are having what? 15,000 plus records. When I execute, so you can see here we have only one record for each document. 4970, this entire thing is one record. 4971. So only one record per document, per sales document number. Now I'll take 4970 from VBAK table. I'll go to the item table. In the item table also we have VBLN. In VBAP table also we have VBLN, sales document number. So if I go to that, how many items are there? How many entries? 24,000. What is the item I collected? What is the sales document number I collected from the header table 4970? Na? Does the sales document contains any items? Yes, it contains 4 items. When I execute, yes, you can see 4970 sales document has got 4 line items. Item number 10, 20, 30, 40. This is the material number. Similarly, let me take another sales document from VBAK table 4971 is there. Let me check how many items are there for 4971. I may have one or more. We don't know. So if I go to 4971, I'm having only one item for this particular sales document number. Is it clear? So the relationship between VBAK and VBAP, each sales order of VBAK table might contain one or more items. In what? VBAP table. Okay, done. So keeping this in mind, I want the header data and item data. So let me, for header data, I require work area. For item data, I require what? Internal table. Na? Let me get that. So I'll declare it in the top include program. Here I'll say types. What is this? Begin of TY underscore VBAK. I'll declare the required fields. I want the sales document number. Type what? VBAK hyphen Veblen sales document creation date ERDAT VBAK. Understood? Go to the table and analyze the fields. In the VBAK table, what are the fields you want to retrieve? You analyze. I want Veblen sales document number ERDAT. It is a date field, date on which the record is created. ERZDT. It is a time field, entry time. ERNAME character of 12. So like this, you analyze the fields and get it. So here I'll say ERDAT type so and so. Then I'll say ERZDT type what? VBAK hyphen ERZDT. Then I'll take another field ERNAME type what? VBAK hyphen ERNAME. End of what? TY underscore VBAK. Based on this structure, I'll require a work area. Na? Let me declare the work area. I'll say data W underscore VBAK type TY underscore VBAK. Then I'll declare the item structure. Types begin of what? TY underscore VBAP. I'll declare the fields. Weblen type what? VBAP hyphen Weblen. Then what? Item number. Type VBAP hyphen item number. Next material number, type VBAP, sorry, VBAP hyphen material number. I'll take another field, NETWR, type VBAP hyphen NETWR, close the structure, end of TY underscore VB. So item data means you'll have one or more records. Now let me declare an internal table. T underscore VBAP type table of TY underscore VBAP. I'll declare a work area. W underscore VBAP type TY underscore VBAP. Done. So I declared a work area based on the VBAK structure and internal table and work area and VBAP structure. Okay, so before I continue, any questions so far? I've designed the normal screen. On the normal screen, I took one input field and we have handled the event for that. What is the event triggered when you press enter key? PAI. How do you handle field in the PAI event? You have to say like this in the flow logic. Field name, module name. As part of that module definition, as of now, I gave the message. Any questions so far? Right. So let us get the header data. Header data means it is there in which table? VBAK table only. Na? So you'll have only one record for each sales document. The sales document number we are entering in this first screen. V underscore Webland is the name of the field. Na? So let me write the select query. How do you get one record from a table? Anyone? How do you get one record from a table? Anyone?
Let's see.
Select single. Okay. So here I'll say select single. What are the fields you want to get? Already we have analyzed. Webland, ERDAT, ERZDT, ERNAM. Right. After retrieving, let me put it directly on the screen fields. Understood? I'm going to put it in the screen fields. Or else, should I put it there or put it in the work area into W underscore what? VBAK, where Weblen equal to, sorry, from which table? VBAK table, where Weblen equal to the entered Weblen, which I entered on the screen field V underscore Weblen. Okay, once this is done, if select is successful, if size of RC is equal to 0, understood? So first what you are doing here, we are fetching what? We are fetching the sales document, what? Header data. If size of bar is equal to 0, I have to fetch what? Yes, sales document, what? Item data. I have to fetch the sales document item data into the internal table. You'll have multiple records. Na? What are the fields you want to retrieve? 4 fields: sales document number, item number, material number, and what? Net value. So here I'll say select what? Weblen 4 fields from VBAP. Since you'll have multiple records, I have to put it in the internal table. Na? What is the internal table I declared? T underscore what? VBAP, where Weblen equal to V underscore what? Weblen. So I would get the item data. I would get the item data. Okay. If size of RC equal to 0, understood? If size of RC equal, the item data is also available. Call what? Call the model dialog box. I need to call the model dialog box. End if and end if. Okay. So to call the model dialog box, first of all, you have to create that particular model dialog box. Na? Understood? Whenever I press enter, I am getting the header data and item data. If the item data is also available, I have to call the model dialog box. So I'll just design another screen. Right click on the program, create what? Screen. Okay, I'll give the screen number as something 200. I'll provide some description, screen 200. What is the screen type you have to choose? Model dialog box. I'll choose what? Model dialog box. Let me design the layout for that. What is the layout I require? I want header fields from VBAK table, item fields from item table. So I'll choose go to secondary window. dictionary program fields. Okay, I want the fields from VBAK table. Get from dictionary. What are the fields you want? Veblen, date, time, and name of the person. I'll put it here. Is it clear? Better I'll change the names of these fields. The name is what? VBAK and Veblen. I'll change it to something what? H underscore VBLN. Some name. This also I'll change it to H because I'm ensuring that hyphen is not there. H hyphen H underscore ERDAT. This I'll change it to something H underscore ERZ. You can give any name. Okay, then I'll double click on this. I'll give the name of this as H underscore ER a name. So I've changed the field names. Okay, let me provide a box kind of thing for an appearance. I'll give the name of this as BX1. I'll give it as something text. I'll give it as something sales document. What? Header data. Header data. Done. Then I require the item data. Na? Item data means you have to display the data from the internal table. So how do you display the multiple records in the form by using what? Table control. So what I'll do, you can see here, we have table control here. On my layout, on the toolbox of the layout, we have the table control. I'll take the table control, I'll draw it here. This is my table control. We have to give the name for the table control. Okay, let me double click on this. I'll give the name as TBCTRL. Okay, TBCTRL, some name. In this table control, I need to place the data from which table? VBAP table. So I require fields in this. So what I'll do, I'll choose go to secondary window, dictionary program fields. I'll take what? VBAP, get from dictionary. You select the required fields. Veblen, item number, material number, and NETWR. So scroll down. NETWR. So I'll take this, continue. I'll drop it here. Okay, so okay, I have not selected material number. I'll just delete this column, right? I'll just choose go to secondary window, dictionary program fields. I'll select NETWR, hold the control key properly. I will select Veblen, PUSNR, material number. What else? What is the other column here? NETWR. I think control is not required now, so done. I'll say continue. I'll drop it here, right? I got the field. So if you see the name of this field, this headings, these are nothing but text fields. If I double click, what is that showing? A text field. Text field name can contain hyphen, doesn't matter. But if you see the cells here, if I double click on the cell, what is the name proposed? VBAP hyphen Veblen, input output field. So I'll change this to I underscore Veblen. Then this also I'll change it to I underscore item na, so I'll change it to I underscore. You can give any name. I underscore PUSNR. This I'll change it to I underscore MATNR. This I'll change it to I underscore NETWR. So I've changed the name of the table control fields. I want the separators. So I'll go to the properties of the table control. I gave the name of the table controls TBCTRL. You can see we have checkboxes, vertical separator, horizontal separator. I got the separators kind of thing done. So I'm done with designing the table control. But when I do the syntax check, I would get some errors. So what is the name of the table control? Yes, TBCTRL. Name of the table control is TBCTRL. What are the columns in the table control? I underscore Veblen, I underscore PUSNR, I underscore MATNR, I underscore NETWR. But when I do the syntax check, I'll get an error. See this. Save, check for the syntax error. Yeah, it is showing me an error. The field VBAPI-Veblen is not assigned to a loop. Loop end loop must appear in PBU and what? PI. So when you are designing the table control on the screen, in the design time also, I should take loop end loop in PBU and PI. Otherwise, you'll get the syntax errors. So what you have to do? In which screen I place table control? Screen 200. Na? So in the screen 200 flow logic, just for the time being, just say loop and end loop, just to avoid that error. Here also in PBU and PI, just say loop and what? End loop, to avoid that error. Save it, check for the syntax. I don't have any error. So what I did here, I designed the table control. The name of the table control is TBCTRL, and I gave the columns here. Done. Okay, so check it, no errors. Let me take one back button in the screen 200 so that I can come back. I'll go to the layout, right? So I'll take some back button here. I'll give the name as something B1. Text I'll give it as back. I'll give the function code as something FC1. No problem. FC1. Save it. Done. Okay, so I took the back button. Let us write the logic for the back button. So in the screen 200 only we are having a back button. Na? So in the screen 200, in the PAI event, in the PAI module, PAI module does not exist. Create the object, yes. I'll choose what? Top include program. And here I'll say what? Case IUCOM, when what? FC1. What is that I want? I want to go back to the parent screen. Na? How do you refer to the parent screen? Just say leave to screen 0. 0 refers to what? Parent screen. From 100 we are coming to 200. Na? So in the 200 screen, when I click on the back button, what is the logic it executes? Leave to screen 0. 0 refers to the parent screen from where the control has came. Who is the parent screen for 200? 100 only. Na? It will go back there. Save it. Check for the syntax. Activate this. Done. Activate the flow logic also. So I am done with the designing of the screen 200. This is my layout. Any questions so far? Please ask. On my screen 200, I took the input fields from header table, and I took one table control. As part of the table control, I took the fields from the item table, and I renamed this header fields as h underscore so and so, and item fields as I underscore so and so. Any questions so far? Yeah, now I'll go back. So what is the agenda here? Whenever I press enter key, I'm getting the header data and item data. If the data is available, I have to call this screen. Na? So let me go back to screen 100. Screen 100. Here only I wrote the logic. Na? Field name, module name. I got the header data. If the header data is available, I am getting the item data. Here you have to call the model. Yeah, Jyoti, any questions? Okay. Yeah. So understood. In the screen 100 only we are getting the data. Whenever I press enter, what is the event triggered? PA. Field name, module name. I got the header data. If the header data is available, I got the item data. If the item data is available, let us call the dialog box. How do you call the screen means? Call screen. What is the screen number? 200. Okay, I have to give some coordinates starting at, I'll give the coordinates as something 20 and 10. Okay, top left, top left, bottom right, ending at, I'll give something 80 and 70. 80 and 70. Some coordinates. Let me check how it appears. So how do you call a screen? Call screen screener. If I leave it like this, if I stop here only, what happens? It will occupy the entire window. I don't want that. I want that model dialog box should be shown only in that some portion. So let me check. Activate this. Yes, it is activated. Starting at top left, ending at bottom right. That is the syntax. Activate and execute. Right, I'll enter some sales document number 4980. I'll press enter. Oh, what happened? We are trying to call the screen 200 na, but that screen 200 contains table control na. Screen 200 contains table control. So if a screen contains table control component, we must declare the table control component explicitly. Otherwise, it leads to what? Runtime error. So what in the tab strip control also, I believe we got the same error. If your screen contains tab strip control, we should declare the tab strip control explicitly. Can anyone tell me how to declare the tab strip control explicitly? I believe already I covered. How do you declare the tab strip control explicitly?
Controls,
Good. Controls keyword.
controls and tab strip name, type,
Yeah,
and tab strip.
good. Controls followed by tab strip name, type tab strip. Similarly, if your screen contains table control component, the table control should be declared explicitly. You can see here control variable not found. Error analysis. Search performed for the control TBCTRL. This could not be found, however. So I must declare the table control component. So in the top include program, right? In the top include program, I'll declare the table control component. How do you declare the table control? This is the syntax. Controls. What is the name of the table control? I give TBCTRL type table view using screen 200. On which screen the table control is placed? 200 only, na? So this is a way to declare the table control. What is the data type of table control? Table view. The data type of tab strip control is tab strip. Here also we have to use controls keyword. So save it, check for the syntax, activate. So the table control is declared explicitly. Let's see whether it works or not. Activate this, execute direct processing. Okay, I'll enter something 4980. I'll press enter. What happened? I got the what? The model dialog box. So it is occupying only some portion because I gave the coordinates starting at so and so, ending at so and so. Right? So it's working fine. I need to map the data. So if I click on the back button here, understood. This is a model dialog box. Means I cannot interact with the other windows. Here, without closing this, I'm clicking on the other screen. Not working, na? So this is called as model dialog box. So I'll click on back. What is the logic here? Wrote there? Leave to screen 0. 0 refers to a parent screen. Who is the parent screen for screen 200? 100 only, na? So if I click on this, yes, I came back here. Done, working fine. So I need to map the data there, na? So where is the data available? In the header, in the work area, as well as in the internal table. What is the work area? W underscore VBAK, and internal table is T underscore VBAK. So whenever we call the screen, what is the event triggered? PBO, na? So in the PBO event, I need to map the data to the header field. So what I'll do here, I'll define one module what? Map header data. Some module name I'm giving. Module map header data. Am I clear? So this PBO event will be triggered multiple times. I need to ensure that this is triggered only once. Right? How do I ensure? I'll take some indicator. So in the top include program, I'll take one indicator here. So here I'll say, somewhere here I'll say what? Data v underscore flag type I. So when that module should be executed is when the item data is available. So here if size of RC equal to 0, I'll set flag value as 1. I'll set the flag value as what? 1. So now I'm calling the screen. Okay, when I call the screen, what is the event triggered? PBO. PBO. In this module, PBO module, I'll write the logic. I'll ensure that this module is executed only for the first time. So how do I ensure? If v underscore flag is equal to 1, do that. So I'll say v underscore flag equal to 2. After entering, I'm doing it. Okay. So I need to map it to my header fields. What are the header fields name I give? H underscore weblen equal to where is the header data is available? In the work area. I'll just assign it to my header fields. ERDAT equal to W underscore VBAK hyphen ERDAT. H underscore ERZET equal to W underscore VBAK hyphen ERZET. H underscore ERNAM equal to W underscore VBAK hyphen ERNAM. That's all. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Yeah, I am getting the error. If you are using the screen fields in the program, I should declare. Na? So let me declare those header fields. So somewhere here I'll say data H underscore weblen type what? VBAK hyphen Veblen. What else? H underscore ERDAT type what? VBAK hyphen ERDAT H underscore. What are the screen fields say there? You declare the same thing. VBAK hyphen ERZET H underscore ERNAM type VBAK hyphen ERNAM. Done. Save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate. So very simple and straightforward. In the screen unread, when I press enter, PA event gets triggered. I am getting the header data into this work area based on the entered Veblen. Okay, so if the item data is available, then only I am calling the screener. There only I am setting the flag as what? 1. So whenever I call the screen, what is the first event triggered? PBO. So in the PBO event in this module, if flag equal to 1, yes, when the flag will become 1, only if the header data and item data is available, flag will be 1. The moment it enters if block, I am changing the flag value to other than 1. You can change it to anyone so that next time this module will not be executed. So activate this. That's all over. So when I activate and execute, okay, I'll enter 4980. What happened? I got the header data. Na? Header data is successfully mapped. Similarly, I have to map the item data also. Na? So let's map the item data also. Yeah, any questions before I do that? I retrieved the data into the work area. This work area data, we have to put it in what? Map it to what? Screen 200 header fields. So I mapped it here. Okay, so I need to map the item data also now. So where is the item data available in this the internal table? What is that? T underscore VBAP. This internal table data we have to map it to the table control fields. So internal table means I may have many records. Record by record, I have to map it to a table control rows. Okay, when the control goes to second record in the internal table, control should go to the second row in the table control. If the control goes to third row in the internal table, control should go to the third row of what? Table control. So here what I'll do, observe this scale. How do you map the data means? Already I wrote loop and loop. Na? So here only in the PB only you have to do the mapping. Loop at what is the internal table? T underscore VBAP into W underscore VBAP. Each record will come to what? Work area, right? So this loop will keep on iterating one by one. So when it is iterating the internal table, along with the internal table, we should also iterate the table control so that the cursor goes to next record. So what is the syntax you have to say? With control TBCTR. This is a new syntax we have used first time. This syntax I cannot use wherever I want. This syntax is recognized only in the flow logic. So what is the meaning of this statement? When you are looping the internal table, parallelly loop what? Table control. Means if the cursor goes to second record in the internal table, take the cursor to the second row in the table control like that. So each record will come to work area. Na? From work area, we have to map it to the table control fields. What are the table control fields? I underscore Veblen, I underscore VBL and all those. So here I'll say module map what? Item data. Map item data. Understood? So I'll double click on this. Right. So here I'll do the mapping. So I'll say what? Clear what? I underscore Veblen. No, clear, not clear. Yeah, I underscore Veblen equal to, we are in the loop, na? W underscore Veblen hyphen Veblen. I underscore item number equal to W underscore VBAP hyphen item number. Material number equal to W underscore VBAP hyphen material number. NETWR equal to W underscore VBAP hyphen NEWR. So every time I'll clear the work area like this. But I may get an error here. They are not recognized. So if you are using the screen fields, we should declare it in the program. Na? So somewhere here, let me declare. So here I'll say data I underscore weblen type what? VBAP hyphen weblen. I underscore item number type VBAP hyphen item number. I underscore material number type VBAP hyphen material number. I underscore NETWR type VBAP hyphen NETWR. Done. So I've done the necessary what? Mapping. I've done the necessary, sorry, I've done the necessary declarations. So here we have written the logic to map the data from our internal table to the table control. What is the syntax? Loop at internal into work area with control. So what is the meaning of that? When you're looping the internal table, parallelly loop what? Table control. For every record, this module gets executed. Each record will come to work area. So that's what I'm doing. I'm mapping the data from my work area fields to my table control fields. Activate this. Activate the flow logic. This is what the logic I wrote. How do you map the data from table control to, sorry, from internal table to table control means like this. We are looping the internal table T underscore VBAP into W underscore VBAP. What you are doing? When you're looping, we are also parallel looping what? Table control. With control I said, na? So automatically cursor goes to second row, third row like this. So this is the mapping we have done. So we are assigning the data from WA underscore VBAP to table control fields. So how do you map the data to, how do you map the data to the table control means when you're looping the internal table, parallelly we should loop what? Table control. How do you achieve that? By using this syntax. For every iteration of the internal table, this module gets executed. We are mapping the data from work area to the table control fields. That's all. Activate everything. Right here, one more thing. When I press enter here, I'm getting the data now. If the error data is value, do so. If size of R C equal to 0, we are getting the item data. So here only, else. If there is no sales order, I'll just give a message. What is this? No sales order. Type what? End if already is there. Huh? Save it. Check for the syntax error. Activate this. Okay, observe this carefully. When I execute, right, I'll enter 49, I'll enter something A4980, which is not there. When I press enter, what is saying? No sales order. I'll enter only 4980. I'll press enter. Yes, I got the what? Header data as well as item data also is there. Na? Understood? So you give the proper coordinate so that you'll have more length. You'll have the more length. Okay, like this. Okay, if I click on back, then I'll enter 4971. I think this has got only one record. If I press enter, I got the header record, I got the item record. Only one record is there. Okay, so like this we can do it. And another point you have to observe here. If I say 4980, if I press enter, I got the header data as well as item data. But if you see the item data, observe this carefully. For the table control, I'm having the what? Horizontal scrolling. Na? I'm having the horizontal scrolling, but vertical scrolling is not available. Understood? Vertical scrolling you can see here. This is vertical scrolling. I'll click on this. Is it working? No. Working. Okay, it's working. So I thought it is not there, but it's there. So automatically I got the horizontal scrolling as well as what vertical scrolling. Understood? If you give the proper coordinates, you'll get it properly. So I gave 80, 70. Na? Let me give 80, 100. Let's see how it appears. When I execute this, oh, this is little less. Oh, you give the proper coordinates, then you may get it. Okay, so give proper coordinates. I'm not getting it, but try with different coordinates, you'll get it. Top left, bottom right. That is the meaning. Okay, sometimes if the vertical scrolling is not available by default, I can enable it. So if size of RC equal to 0, what I'll do before calling the model dialog box, I will enable what I'll do, I'll enable what? Vertical scrolling for what? Table control. How do I enable? What is the name of the table control? TBCTRL. Table control has got a property called as lines property equal to this select statement will fetch some data. Na? How do you get the number of records? I can refer to the system field SciDB count. SciDB count is a system field which will hold the count of number of records retrieved by your previous select statement. This is my previous select statement. If I get 4 records, SciDB count will be 4. If I get 0 records, it will be 0. If I get 1 record, it will be 1. So I am setting the SciDB count value to the table control property called as lines property. Okay, if the vertical scrolling is coming by default, you need not do anything. In some versions, you will not get the vertical scrolling by default. So I have to enable it by setting one lines property. In this case, it is coming by default. So I need not set it. In case it is not coming by default, you have to set it by setting the lines property. So this is a way to map the table control, to map the data to the table control, to navigate from one screen to another screen. Model dialog box, we understood the meaning. Any questions, please ask. Okay, so see the documentation of this call screen. Put the cursor and press F1. Try to understand these coordinates and give the proper coordinates so that the screen will appear in the appropriate size. Done. So I have shared the recording and material till yesterday. This recording and material also I'll try to share by end of today. Practice it over the weekend. Again, we'll meet on Monday. Okay. Chala then. So I'll wind off. We'll meet on Monday. Thank you, everyone.